Hey, we're here on the preview day of Printing United 2025 in Orlando, and we're here with the first exhibitor we're speaking to, Muller Martini. So can you just introduce yourself and your role at the company?
Yes, my name is Greg Wood. My role is I'm a regional sales manager, cover a territory for the U.S., along with some colleagues that cover the other parts of the U.S. territory. And that's my role for this. Here I help present the equipment that we have on our booth to show them what its capabilities are. And so mainly I'm a regional sales manager.
Great. And something that's been already discussed today when we were sort of having the presentation from Muller Martini is the transition that's happening now with Hunkeler. So you got like the combined logo. Obviously, this is a sort of joint venture that happened back in about 2023. So how is that evolution and transition sort of evolving?
I think it's coming very well. And I think Muller and Hunkeler president, as well as our president here, as well as the whole corporation in Switzerland, has done it slowly because of it. It's going to take a lot of time to absorb everything that's coming to us. And so they did it in a manner of actually sending us to the Hunkeler facility to do training on the equipment. Some of the equipment we have exposure to as at this point in time where the contract is, and looking forward to January 1, actually where everything is going to be accessible to us to promote to our customers. But then the other part is going into customers that we haven't been involved in because of we don't have equipment that processes that type of product. So I think we're getting training, we're getting excited, and we definitely look forward to January 1st kickoff. So.
And what sort of benefits are you already seeing? Obviously, at something like Hunkeler Innovation Days, or now here at Printing United, you can sort of see that system working all together. So what benefit does that give the customers?
Well, I think because a lot of our equipment, or some of our equipment, we already were promoting Hunkeler Unwinder and Sheeter and so forth. So we're familiar with that aspect of it, and I think the customers are excited about it for us. They think it's a good fit, as we do as well. I think it's going to be different in the sense of us going into the customers that we're not familiar with because of our current equipment doesn't offer any finishing for that. So that's probably going to be I would say our biggest next hurdle is introducing ourselves to that customer. But things are getting in line, and we're getting contacts. A couple of us were always on the internet, find out where these locations are at. What are they any in the states I cover, and so forth. So I think independently, all of my colleagues and I are looking at where everybody is, and that way we have a good idea of what to do, and then just go in and introduce ourselves and go on from there. Hopefully, I think it's going to turn out really well. So.
Yeah, and something that you guys were keen to sort of emphasize is that this isn't getting absorbed, and especially with the event as well. Hunkeler Innovation Days is still a separate entity which is run by Hunkeler, and you guys have been talking about the 2027 event which is happening as well. So can you update us a bit more on that relationship and event?
Yeah, I think the relationship, it's both Muller as well as Hunkeler has their strong personality, and it doesn't seem to it didn't seem to matter, nor was it necessary to name it Muller or name Muller Hunkeler, because a lot of people that I've spoken with, and a friend of mine who's since retired, he says, "Oh, that's a great fit, Hunkeler being with Muller Martini," but it doesn't have to be the same name, and but that's why we're doing logos. All of our business cards will address both of them. So we'll process and whatever customer we go in to see, and if one of them they may have both of them. So it could be a natural fit for them to work with me on, or my colleagues on that. So.
And the show then is the sort of same show that people know and respect, I guess. Then in that sense that's not changing either.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a show that draws a lot of people. One, because of the beautiful area that they always host it in, but then also it's still a lot of good information on their equipment. And then they display a lot of, over the last couple of years, Muller has had product on their floor, their equipment feeding our product already before the acquisition ever took place. So.
And one thing that you've been keen to sort of emphasize at this year's Printing United is the sort of digital transformation that you're seeing. And that includes, the technology in your machines, but also the stuff that's powering it with your workflow systems. So can you tell us a bit about some of those systems that you're showcasing here and some of the new innovations?
Yeah, the digital transformation, I think that it all was like when Industry 4.0 started, that was the goal, is to transfer to the digital transformation, and it's really has happened. So I think that what people are going to see in our booth today this week is going to be that. It's going to, the Ontario binder is going to be on our floor. It's probably the highest level of digital capabilities that we offer. And then same thing with the Hunkeler, the Gen 8 Evo. Same thing, the automation level is extremely high, few touches. And how that benefits Connex is just a capture of it all. So when Connex is involved in it, it provides information as well as receives information. And then it actually, we partner with all different press partners, we partner with all the press partners, for us to provide them the imposition of a product that would run. It has obviously the natural pages that are going to be produced, but also all the necessary cutoff marks and trim marks that are required to make a book, and it captures everything. And so not only does it feed it the information that it needs, but it also receives the information back to where they could populate their MIS system, do better analysis on how much the job truly costs, and then and capture that information over a long period of time. So it's very beneficial, as well as being able to get on your cell phone, make sure the equipment's still running. So
yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. But yeah, it's Connex is a very good piece of very good workflow system to capture all that information. So.
Yeah, making it a lot easier and more automation for people
Definitely.
in their production sites. So two products you sort of emphasize as well for this show is the Starbook and the Infinitrim. Can you tell us a bit about those and how it benefits printers?
Yeah, so actually the Ontario is going to be feeding books into the Infinitrim. And the Infinitrim is a robotic trimmer that it doesn't have to change cassettes, it doesn't have to move knives. It just registers it to every cut station, which individually it'll cut it'll cut the head, it'll cut the foot, and it'll cut the face of the line. And the next book following it could be 6x9 followed by an 8.5 by 11 and so forth. So it doesn't require any make ready other than maybe changing the cutting sticks and the knives when they get dull. But so that's doing that. And the reason why it's doing it behind the Ontario is because the Ontario is going to produce books of one. They're going to go from this side, from an 8.5 by 11 by 6 by 9, and they'll probably provide 4 different samples of different sizes, different range and thicknesses. And the Infinitrim will sit there. Now, one of the other things you see on the end of the line is one book may be a softcover book, one book may be have an in-sheet tip on there, and it would be a book block for hardcover production. And so the desortation conveyors will actually sort it in the direction where it needs to go. If it's a softcover book, it's probably going to go straight through and go into the packaging part. And then if it's going to be a hardcover book, it's going to exit to the right, and it's going to go into a different stage to go in to be further processed to put the cover onto the book block.
Okay, cool. And then you've also, a big thing we've seen with a lot of the manufacturers, throughout the year, and especially then at this show, is talking about catering to different customers with different types of machines. So you've said about how there's customers which have different volumes of work, and how the barcode systems you have and the different machines can cater to that. So do you just, in conclusion, want to talk about how you are showing that and how you're addressing different customers and the different volumes they have?
Yeah, I think we really try to listen to what the customer needs, and because if it's a customer that still does a lot of offset work, we have the Allegro Perfect Binder, but it could be offset oriented and also digitally oriented, and it could run either or at times. And then the Ontario, it's set up to run either digital or offset, so it doesn't have as much of a hybrid capability as what the Allegro does. And it depends, once again, it depends on the the products you're producing, but it has a 2,000 cycle speed on the book blind. So at a digital mode, that may be beneficial to certain customers to need that amount of quantity coming through the lines. The Infinitrim could fit on either one of the lines, all the lines. And then also for maybe someone on being introduced to this, and they have a smaller capacity of work that they have to produce. The Vario also could be, the Vario Pro could also be a binder that would produce books of one, but also do regular offset work as well. So we have two binders that could do hybrid work. One binder that's more tended to be either offset and or conventional, but all three fit into category very well.
Right.
And they have different levels of automation. Like I said earlier, on the Antero, it has a different level of automation in comparison to what the Vario does. But then also the Allegro has a different variation as well. So.
Great. Well, I guess if anybody wants more information, obviously they can see you at the stand at the show, and obviously you guys have your sort of cocktail hour each day as well. Yeah. So that's a fun thing to come over and see.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
If you want any more information, come see Muller Martini at Printing United, and keep an eye out on Print Monthly for more content.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks.